My kitchen is always freezing. Sometimes I just turn on the stove to keep it warm in here. Hey guys, welcome back to Never Tasted Better. My name is Sarah and we are making a healthy apple pie today. I know, I normally don't do a healthy version of a dessert, but we've been eating a lot of sugar at our house. And I figured it's time we tone it down on the sugar this week. Plus, one of you guys requested that I make a healthy apple pie, so I took it on as a challenge and I'm really excited to do this. Now, just because this is a healthy apple pie doesn't mean it's not going to taste good. This healthy apple pie has a buttery, flaky, whole wheat pie crust. It baked to golden brown perfection. It made my house smell incredible. It's loaded with plenty of fresh apples. There's less sugar in there, but you wouldn't even be able to tell. It just tastes so delicious. I'm measuring out my white whole wheat flour. I want exactly 8 ounces. Once you've done that, you're going to need half a cup cold water, your white whole wheat flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1.5 sticks cold butter. This whole wheat pie crust is actually really easy to make. Let's get started. Add your flour, your sugar, and your salt to a large bowl. Whisk this until well combined. Now we're ready to cut in only half of our very cold butter. Cut it into 1/2-inch size pieces. Use your hands and coat those butter pieces in the flour. Cut it in with a pastry cutter until it resembles coarse crumbs, and then cut the rest of your cold butter into the flour mixture. Fluff it up again and cut it in until it resembles coarse crumbs again. It'll look like small pea-sized bits. Add 1/2 cup cold water plus 2 tablespoons. Stir this with a wooden spoon until it comes together and is resembling a dough. Once it resembles a dough, start using your hands and just start lightly kneading it together. We pretty much just want it sticking together so we can turn it out on the table and knead it until it's a little bit easier to work with. Start out by lightly flouring a hardwood surface. Turn out all of your pie crust dough, and we're going to start kneading this guy until he's a little more easier to work with. We're not going to over knead him. We don't want a tough dough, but we do want him to be nice and smooth. Once he's a little smoother, we're going to crimp all of those edges, form them into a flat disc, take a sharp knife and cut him right down the middle. Check out this cross section, guys. Looks pretty good. Now we're going to reflour our surface and shape him into another disc, just smaller this time. Make sure you crimp the edges, flatten him out until he's nice and smooth. Do the same with your other ball of dough. Once they're shaped into disc, wrap them each separately in plastic wrap and refrigerate these guys for 1.5 hours up to 2 hours. To make the apple pie mixture, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 medium-sized apples, a variety of McIntosh and Cortland, and what's this? Macoun? How did that get in here? I don't know what a Macoun apple is. Okay, we'll just use him. Also, 2 tablespoons cornstarch, 2 tablespoons white sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/3 cup dark brown sugar, and 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Let's get started peeling and chopping our apples. Lucy could smell the apples from a mile away. She loves her apples. She's a little apple thief. I have to keep an eye on this one. Once your apples have been peeled, I like to go around the core and slice them this way. You can do it the old-fashioned way of cutting them in half and digging out the core. I just find that this way is much less work. So go ahead, chop up all of your apples, and once you're done, we're going to add those to a large glass bowl. Add in the rest of your filling ingredients, your dark brown sugar, cinnamon, white sugar, and cornstarch. Don't forget your vanilla extract. Now we're going to use a spatula and combine all of this until those apples are really well coated. I think the smell of this apple pie mixture is heavenly. I mean, no wonder there are so many candles that are labeled apple pie. Lightly flour a hard surface. We're ready to roll out the bottom of our pie crust. So flour the top of the pie crust and your rolling pin and just start rolling them out. This pie crust, like I said, it's very easy to work with. It was very pliable. Just make sure you keep reflouring the surface underneath, and I like to rotate my pie crust as I roll it out. This way it won't stick to the surface and you'll avoid a huge mess. Roll your pie crust out to a 14-inch circle. We want this to be nice and wide enough so it'll fit our 9-inch pie plate, no problem. I like to use my rolling pin to help me lift up my pie crust. This pie crust was very durable. It didn't rip at all. So lift it up and let the weight of it fall into the bottom of your pie plate. You don't want to overstretch it with your fingertips. You can lightly go around the sides of the pie crust. Just gently help it settle into the pie plate naturally. Refrigerate this guy. While that refrigerates, grab your apple mixture, give it a few good tosses. We're ready to pour it into the bottom of our pie crust. This was obviously my favorite part. I just love when the pie comes together. I like to arrange my apples so there's not going to be any sinkholes when this bakes. Put this guy in the fridge while we roll out the top of our pie crust. Reflour your surface, create a dust cloud by clapping your hands together, and grab your pie crust, start rolling it out again. Pretty much just do the same thing. We're gonna roll this guy out and rotate him, reflour the surface so it doesn't stick. I always like to smooth out the edges while I'm rolling it out. This will just help it look much neater and it won't split. To get a more flaky pie crust for the top of the pie, I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to pick it up, make sure you flour your surface underneath, and fold it again in half. This is going to give us plenty of flaky, buttery layers, and you will thank yourself for this later. Roll it out again like you were doing. Try to get it into a circle as much as possible. Now that we have our circle, it kind of looks like a circle. Anyway, it doesn't really matter as long as it's wide enough to put over the top of our pie. Get your pie out of the fridge and gently place the pie crust over the top of the pie. We're going to start out by folding the top of our pie crust underneath the bottom pie crust. It was wide enough for me to do this, so make sure you fold it underneath, working carefully. Take your time with this part, there's no rush. You can use whatever design you would like to seal the edges. I just used the end of a knife. I had to keep redipping it in flour though because the pie crust was very sticky and it kept sticking. So do whatever you would like as long as those edges are nice and sealed. My mouth is watering while I'm doing this voiceover. We're going to make a shiny glaze for the top of our pie. Do this by cracking an egg and beating it really well. Now we're going to add 1 teaspoon whole milk to that, beating it really well again. Grab a pastry brush or whatever you have that can spread this glaze over the top of your pie. I love my pastry brush. I don't take it for granted because I went so long without one. So spread it all over your pie, get in the crooks and crannies. Now this part is optional. I know this is supposed to be a healthy apple pie, but this is more or less just for looks. So sprinkle some raw sugar over the top of your pie, cut some splits in the center of your pie, whatever design you would like. I just did 3 lines. I thought it was cute. Our oven is preheated to 375 degrees, so it's piping hot and ready for our pie. We're going to bake him for 45 minutes, but check him halfway through. We don't want him to get too brown on top. Oh, hi Jack. He hangs out in the weirdest places sometimes.
Lucy knew I was baking with apples, so she wanted to know whatever it was, when it was going to be done. After 25 minutes, our pie is a beautiful golden brown color. I don't want it to get any darker, so cover it with aluminum foil and bake for 20 more minutes. Once it's done baking, take off the aluminum foil and voila, it looks delicious, guys. I am so excited. I hope you guys are able to make this. It really does taste insane. Henry was going to get apple pie, but he was a very naughty boy and he decided to coat himself and the floor in mashed potatoes. I was not too happy with them, so when I told him no apple pie, he was a little disappointed. As always, I include the recipe in the description box below, just in case you want to read it instead of watching me and listening to me drone on and on. I hope you guys are able to make this recipe. It was so delicious for a healthy pie. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I'm over there as Never Tasted Better. I hope to see you there.
Hey guys, so we're finally going to be able to test this pie. So I told him he's got to tell me what he really thinks. What do you think?
Tastes like apple pie.
The crust is actually really good. It's flaky and buttery.
Oh gosh. And it's missing some ice cream.
You can taste the wheat in the crust, but it's a good taste.
It gives it a little different texture.
Just a little bit of a different texture. Let's be honest, the whipped cream was not that healthy.
I just prefer my really buttery, flaky, white flour crust.
I like it. I think it's really good.
It's a good compromise.
It's a good way to go healthy.
It's very tender.
It's very good. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll say bye for now. I hope you have a great day, guys. Bye.